and I have no clue what I'm going to say. No. Wow, I was listening to Michael sing that song Tomorrow, and my talk today is Quest for Happiness. But what was interesting, I thought tomorrow is only a day away, and that's true. And we think, oh, well, tomorrow will be a better day. But what are you doing today? Because today is going to determine your tomorrow. So you want to have a today to be the best that you can make of it, right? And if we keep saying, oh, tomorrow, what happens? You're creating the same tomorrow by what you're doing today. So I found this quote, I thought this was kind of funny. I find the question, why are we here, typically human? I'd suggest, are we here? Would be the more logical choice. And that's from Mr. Spock in Star Trek. And are we here? Are we being present? And the quest for happiness, we all have. So let me ask some of you. Dale, since you said such beautifully, what does happiness mean to you?
Happiness means that all is well in my world, and I'm at peace.
That's
happiness.
A good one. That's a good one. Let me borrow your mic. Who else would like to tell me what happiness means to them? Anybody? Oh, I'm going to run back here, and I know the camera's probably not going to be able to get me, but sorry.
I think that if we have our health, especially our family, I think we have everything.
Oh, I didn't have it. Say that again.
I think if we have our health, we have everything. And I always pray that all my family is healthy.
Oh, that's beautiful. Anybody else have anything that means happiness? A dare?
When I feel I'm in harmony with the universe.
Oh, that's
and
nice.
It feels like happiness.
Oh. Anybody? Nancy?
Expanding our creativity and sharing that with others.
Oh, I love that.
Inspiring them to do the same.
Inspiring them to do the same. Oh, Reverend Cheryl.
When the 4 pillars of my life are in alignment, that's when I find myself in that place of happiness. That's my health, my relationships, my creativity, and my... I just lost the last one. Relationships. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Anybody else want to say behind? Oh, bliss. Oh, bliss is just happiness anyway, right?
98% of the time. I'm still working on the other 2%. But I find lately more and more happiness is a choice. And even when I'm going through something painful or that I so-called feel is hurtful or that I still have that choice to recalibrate and look at that as a growth opportunity. And it's a vibration. It's a vibration. Thank you.
Right. Okay, last one.
I'm Bliss's sister, TJ. Hi, everyone. As a kindergarten teacher for many years, what I've learned for myself is happiness is being myself.
Yes. That. Okay, last one. I gotta get.
To quote Shakespeare, "To thine own self be true, thus you cannot be false to any man."
Ooh. Amen, brother. Amen. That I have to say that was one of the things in my life, is to be true to myself. I'm going to share. This is kind of depressing, but I want you to think back on your youth. The quest for happiness. First, I was dying to finish high school and start college. Do you remember that? Like, what? I can't wait to get out of high school. What about, I can't wait to be 21. I can't wait for this. I can't wait for that. And then I was dying to finish college and start working. And then I was dying to marry and have children. And then I was dying for my children to grow old enough for school so I could return to work. And then I was dying to retire, and now I'm dying. And suddenly, I forgot to live. Right? How many of us, boy, I'm going to get that high school diploma, and then I'm going to go to college, and if those of you who are younger and you look around and you see more of the silver hair here, because let me tell you something. What I have found, I know in my life, and I'll share this with you. In my life, I did all those things. I didn't go to, my parents were different. I shared my mother and father. My mother was born in the Philippines and grew up in the Philippines. My father grew up in Hawaii. My mother came from a very wealthy family in the Philippines. In the Philippines, I guess you're either poor or you're rich. And they were fortunate, I guess, enough to be wealthy. My dad, he chopped down sugar cane and picked pineapple. They were from Portugal and had a very, very rough life, and they met. But anyway, so they had different concepts of life. And so their thing, they got married very young. My mom left the Philippines and married my dad, and they had a very struggling life growing up financially and so forth. So when I was in high school, this is what my mother told me. Honey, you should go get a job with the airlines. Become an airline stewardess. You'll meet some rich man and get married. That's what my mother told me. That was, not get an education or do this or inspire me. And what always used to bug me when I was in school, if I got anything less than a B, they were really mad at me. And it's like, why? You're not telling me go to college. What does it matter? But anyway, a long story short. But anyway, so I thought, I didn't go to college. I didn't become an airline stewardess. I fell in love, got married at 19. And so, but that I was happy. I thought I was happy. I have to admit, I would drive my husband crazy because I wake up like this. All right, I wake up happy like this, and not everybody wakes up. He didn't wake up until he had a pot of coffee. Just be quiet, And so I've always been different, but I always was at that place to once I accomplish this. Once I accomplish that, I'll be happy. And then I got pregnant, and God, I did not want to have kids. I knew that was going to be the end of my life. That was my thinking. I would not be happy anymore. This was, and that turned out not to be true. So when I reached about 40, by then I had my business. I had made it. I had the first court reporting agency in the desert. We were thriving and so forth. But there was an emptiness. I remember my 40th birthday. My 40th birthday, my husband and I went to Las Vegas to celebrate my birthday. And I remember he was asleep and I was looking out at all the lights, and I knew I wasn't happy. There was an emptiness in my soul. I knew that there was something I did not feel fulfilled. On the outside, I had everything that I had wanted, but I did not feel alive. And I don't know if you've ever been in a relationship where it's not bad, but I put the analogy of, your breakers where you're for electricity, you got the one for the refrigerator, the dryer. I had felt like my life, the breakers had been going off one at a time. And can you relate to that, where it's not bad, but something is just missing. Something is missing. And then there was an incident in our marriage where the main breaker went off. And I knew I had to make a change in my life. And that's when my husband and I split up, and it was because of me. And it was really weird. I was calm about it because I knew in my heart, for his highest good and my highest good, we couldn't be together anymore. I knew for my children's sake, it was not, and I told him, I'm not happy. And he said, well, I am. And I go, how can you be happy if I'm not? How can we be in a relationship if we're not happy and we're not on the same page? So I want you to look at your life. Where are the areas in your life where maybe you're not happy? So what happened for me at that time, I knew that there was more, and that's when I started searching. And a few years after that is when I found this center and this teaching. And what I loved about this, my whole, even my business career, one of the reasons I became a court reporter is because I was in banking, and I saw that, number one, the way they treated women. We had a woman who was my boss who knew everything about the bank. But some young guy who has a college degree but knows nothing about banking gets the job over her. She had to train him for the job that he was already making more money than she was. And I go, not going to do this. Not going to do this. I am not going to be in a business where somebody's going to tell me who has less knowledge than me what I need to do and who I need to be. And so that's the whole process. My whole court reporting story is a whole other issue. But it was wonderful, the way life unfolds. But just like what Kathy said, when you say yes, and sometimes you have to say no, too. You have to say no. You have to have the courage to step into who you are and say no to something so that you can have a new beginning to say something, to say yes to. If you don't develop your skill at enjoying what you have, you won't be any happier when you get more. So this is something, too, I learned along the way. You've got to appreciate what you have. Now, when my husband and I split up, it wasn't, like I said, because I hated him. I knew that there was something else I was supposed to be doing, and I could not do it the way it was. And I also I didn't want my children to see this. And my children were very young. They were like 5 and 8 when we separated. But you know what? It was a little contentious there for a little bit. Actually, we never divorced. We stayed married until he made his transition, which was several years later. But we always loved each other. We always respected each other enough. He would come and watch the boys if I had to go out of town or whatever, stay at the house. He'd pick the boys up after school. We always had a respectful relationship. But you have to be grateful for the things that you do have. Even the traumatic things that happen in our lives, and there's not anybody here who hasn't been touched by something in their life that was painful, that you thought, how am I going, what am I doing, why is this? I'm telling you, everything that happens, I personally don't believe in accidents per se. I believe that there's a divine purpose. I believe that there's a part of me, my consciousness, that knows what the deep part of my soul wants to experience. And sometimes if I'm not paying attention, the universe will give us a little nudge. But you have to be grateful for what you have. How many people have so many wonderful things? How many of us take for granted that we have a home, that we have food, that we have clean water? We're not, when I see homeless, I think, I don't always stop and give them money, but sometimes I'm just compelled to, and I will do it. And I remember my son going, Mom, why are you doing that? He might be buying alcohol or drugs or something. And I go, you don't know that. And it doesn't matter what he does with it. It's the fact that I'm giving it. And I always say to myself, but for the grace of God, there go I. I remember growing up as a child, and, I don't know if your parents should say this, Laura, you need to eat all your food on the plate because there are children in China starving. Did any of you ever hear that growing up? And I remember sitting there very young thinking, why didn't God put me in China? Why am I so blessed that I'm not in China and that's not me? And I believe the reason is because what is true happiness? Happiness is when you can give of yourself, when you can do something for others, just like Kathy was saying. I know Kathy and many of our practitioners, they are all about giving and of themselves. And so that is what happiness is. The more that you get, the more that you feel that gratitude. You know, when we're collecting the money on Sunday, it's not just because we need money, which obviously it costs to keep this place up. But it's an opportunity for you to feel that joy of, thank you, Spirit, for all that I have, and this is my opportunity to give. This is a picture of myself with my first grandchild, with Olivia. The first day she came home from the hospital. And it says, paying attention to the moments in your life as they unfold is what having real moments means. Moments when you are fully present, full feeling, fully alive. And I love that picture because Olivia looks so content, and I'm just filled with joy of feeling that. Have you ever had moments in your life that are so happy, that you've just sat there and you go, I don't ever want to forget what this feels like? Take more of those moments. Take more of that's what happiness is feeling and recognizing what you have, and you're so grateful for it. You're so grateful for everything that you have and feeling that alive. I remember do you remember the smell of a baby? That sweet smell? You just want to just embrace it, and you'd want to just bury it into your heart and your soul so you never forget that moment. I think why we love being grandparents is because that one picture with the guy with the computer, we were so busy worried about how are we going to give to our family and do this and do that we missed out on those moments. And as grandparents, we're not so busy doing, we're more about busy being, right? We're enjoying those moments because we have the time to just sit there and be with you. It's like getting to be a parent, but on a grand scale, and not having to change diapers if we don't want to. Right? Amen? And so where do you find your happiness? Pay attention to that. What I was starting to say is tomorrow. What many of us do is we go, oh, I missed the boat. This is what I should have done. This is what I should have gone to school for if you even went to school. Or I should have gone to college. We're constantly shoulding on ourselves. Or that person shouldn't have done that, or I wouldn't be where I am now if that person had done something different. We have to take responsibility. Happiness is taking responsibility for our life and being happy and being in the moment. I have these just 5 things I want to share with you. These are his name is Sam Bathla. I didn't create this. I don't want to take credit. He said, we as humans, we've got all this technology, and we are in some ways better off than I sit there and I get to take videos of my grandkids and pictures like crazy. When my kids were growing up, remember the big camera we had to lug around to the soccer games and stuff? And I hardly have really that many pictures of my kids because they never had the camera with me when they did something really cute. Now we've got it here. We've got all this technology. And yet, what are we doing? Sometimes we're posting things on Facebook or we're reading things. We're so involved in other people's lives and comparing our own to theirs. So the number one reasons we have to stop comparing ourselves with others. Each one of us is this unique being. And the more we compare ourselves, oh, I'm better than them, or, oh, why can't I do this? No, you are unique. Find where your happiness is. Find what fills your soul. Lack of gratitude is another reason if you want to be happier. Just what I touched on. Be happy. Everything you have this day, how do you wake up this day? Do you go, oh, God, it's Monday, I got to go to work? No, how grateful I have a job if that's what you do. And what are the gifts that you can bring? What can you do to make it happy, to make yourself happier? Because lack of gratitude, what you focus on, what you're grateful for, grows. So you want more to grow for. You're stuck in your comfort zone. How many of us, oh, no, I don't want to try that. No, I'm going to do that. A class, I don't need any more classes. If Kathy hadn't said yes to taking a class, just like what she said, if you say no, you keep saying no, try something. Why not? Don't say, oh, no, I won't like that. How do you know you won't like it if you don't try it? So to have the courage to try things. So are you stuck in your comfort zone? Well, this is the way I do it. This is my day. I wake up, I have my coffee, I do this, I do that. Try something new. Get out of your comfort zone. And the fifth one is move. Exercise, just even move. There's something about moving and being in that movement that gets those endorphins running. And that's what sets off the receptors in our brain. So if you want to be happy, you've got to do more. Be physical. Don't just sit around and feel all your pains and so forth. And so no matter what your age or what your circumstances might be, you are special and still have something unique to offer. Your life, because of who you are, has meaning. Remember that. Right now, the world needs us more than ever. The world needs our consciousness, needs our love, needs to see us being happy in the world. Not like Eeyore, looks like rain. No. That's not who we are. We are out there. We are out there living life, showing our joy. And the best way you can do that is by giving of yourself. All of our practitioners and our ministers, this is about giving. That's what gives us joy. That is why we study and we pay to go to school and we do this and do that, because the joy. People don't even believe I'm a minister who knew me from before. I have family who can't believe I'm a minister, and so and actually, to be honest with you, I like Dr. Laura better, not because I'm doctor, because if you go to a restaurant with some of your colleagues and they go, oh, Reverend Laura, then people around you think they have to behave a certain way, and I really think we're here to give God a good time. And, be kind, laugh, enjoy life. You came here to enjoy life. And this is our opportunity right now to be that love and that light in the world. That's what we are here for. So find what your passion is. And the way you want to be happy, I saw a TED Talk where this lady started this thing with her 3-year-old, 365 days of giving. And each day she had her little 3-year-old start with, what are we going to do to give back to the world or to people? Now it's a big thing, I guess. But the first day was they went and cleared out their towels and stuff, and they took it to an animal shelter. And the little 3-year-old looking in the window and sees all these dogs in these wet, nasty blankets. And he goes, Mommy, are they going to get to use our blankets, our towels? She gets, yes, honey, that's why we brought them, so they have. And it made him so happy that each day they looked for something they could do to give, even if it was to sort trash, pick up trash when they saw it. That was their way of giving back. And it got to be like a passion for this little child to want to do something, to give to somebody, to do something. So that's where happiness, if you want to be in the quest of happiness, give of yourself, give of your talents, give of just who you are, even just holding a door open for somebody to get into a store or something, or letting a car go by and say, go ahead, wait, and waving, or if they do something nice, to acknowledge them. It's those little things that bring happiness into this world, into your life. And pay attention. Pay attention for those moments, like with my grandchildren. You look at little children and They're so happy. My little, I was down visiting this, I came back yesterday, and my little 1.5-year-old Emma, she got up in the morning, she's walking out, and I go, Emma, Grammy needs a hug. And she goes, oh, and she ran to me and gave me a hug, and that's happiness. That's joy. And she was happy because what happens is you're making both people happy. When you do something for somebody else, they're happy, and then you get happy. That's what happiness is. That's what's spreading this out. So I want each one of you to go out there today and do something to give somebody some happiness. That's your quest. Your quest is to give of yourself and to be authentic and to know that each one of us here is that aspect of God. We are all unique individual beings. We need to honor that uniqueness of each person here, and we need to see it. And we need to know that if they're here for a divine purpose. And my purpose and my idealness is to just love them where they are. And I'm not saying it's easy all the time, But when I step back and get my bloatedness, my ego out of the way, and know that there's a divine reason they're showing up. If they're irritating me, it's not about them, it's about me. They couldn't push that button if there wasn't something within me that I put the button there, so they're pushing it. That's something I need to heal. That's why I love Ho'oponopono. Maybe too because my dad was from Maui, I don't know. But anyway, that's what I want to tell you. I want to tell you, you are all special. No matter your age, your color, your race, whatever. We are all important, and we need to honor that individuality, that uniqueness in each person here. There's not one of us here that has the same story. I have my story. We each have our story. But your story, if you think about it, somebody said, oh, if you had it all over again, would you do this, that? I go, I wouldn't change a thing. I would not have not married my husband, would not have had the children I had. Any choice that would have been different would not bring me to this moment, bring me to another moment, but I wouldn't give up those special moments for anything. So make today a day that when you look at it tomorrow, you can go, wow, yesterday was great. Let go of the bad ones, the bad yesterdays. Make this today a great tomorrow. And so ends your lesson.